Alright, we got more AC Delco parts in stock for the 85 Oldsmobile. Brand new fuel pressure regulator to replace this busted one. This must be the original. So, and also the return line right here where I was pinching it during testing. Unfortunately, the 40-year-old rubber has seen better days and it split and it started leaking. So what I want to do is just cut it off right here, and then we might make a new metal line to go to the fuel pressure regulator or splice in a hose, but it's a return line. There's no pressure here, but we want it leak free and reliable. So let's get this undone. Alright, first let's cut the line, and then we'll just take off the entire assembly with the fuel pressure regulator. So cut it right here. Should be good. Snip. See, there's no fuel. We have a nice end to work with. I should have the right line to fit that. And let's unscrew this guy. One bolt, 2 bolts, and there might be some fuel spillage. There we go. Not too worried about that. Get this whole piece out of here. Sweet. Alright, let's pop in the new regulator before it leaks all the gas out. Hopefully that seals up, and then we'll have to fab up a line. So I got the line out of the fuel pressure regulator, and unfortunately it looks like a special fitting with an O-ring, and the O-ring is completely wasted. But we have to keep this end of the line to screw into the new regulator. So I guess what I'm going to do is just chop it off right here, put a little flare on it, and then we'll put a hose from here to wherever the other hose is and splice it there with maybe I'll just make a little section of metal line from like NICOP, flare it, and we'll clamp it there. And that way we'll also have a nice fresh section of hose if we need to do any more pinch testing. So it'll be a win-win. So I just want to remove this piece from the pipe, and then we'll already have a nice flare on the end of it. Well, we hit another roadblock. I was going to reuse this line, got it all ready, and then I'm looking at the threads here. What the heck is going on? How is this even screwed in? Apparently really crooked, and they had Teflon tape all over it. You see how crooked that is? Monkeys! Why? Yeah, if it doesn't thread in, just force it in. Ridiculous. So now we have to order a new line, which is obviously not available. One thing I found was Dorman to the rescue here. Don't buy their electrical stuff, but you know, with fuel lines and stuff, they're pretty decent. Fuel line connector, M16 by 1.5. They have one in stock, so I'm going to order that. We'll have to bend this to shape and use that. Well, here's the Dorman line repair kit, and guess what? Nope, doesn't fit. This is ridiculous. Gotta do more research on what will fit in here. I need a good connector and a good line. So one of the last things I want to do on the 85 Olds is an oil change. AC Delco filter, and we'll use some Mobil 1 10W30 synthetic to keep this engine purring. It was running so rich, the oil is probably diluted. It looks a little dirty, even though it was changed fairly recently. So it holds only 4 quarts. So might as well change it out and start fresh with the proper fuel trims. So I just discovered that the idle does drop down below 1,000 RPM when you're not looking at live data. So if I look at data display, as soon as it starts communicating, see the RPMs go up. Max down to 25. It settles right down, not too much shaking, so I don't think we'll worry about that misfire. One cylinder might be a little low in compression, but not worth chasing because we're not going to fix it anyways. We just, try to pinpoint it. It might take a while. We could do secondary ignition pattern, see if one of the cylinders is a little lean, if the combustion's not 100% complete, but it's like 95% smooth. And when you're cruising, it's dead smooth. Just at idle, you feel a little bub. I think it just needs more miles on it. It might just self-heal. So we're basically done with this thing. We just need to install that fuel pressure regulator. I got a line ordered up from Dorman. Had the special order from the local parts store. It'll take a few days to get in with that M14 by 1.5 adapter. We need that, and then we'll just run a hose the rest of the way. But man, this is a sweet ride. Hopefully today we can finish the 1985 Oldsmobile so the owner can pick it up. So the last piece of the puzzle, Dorman to the rescue. This little line with the M14 by 1.5 adapter that screws in to the bottom of the fuel pressure regulator. So here's the line, and we're gonna have to make this work because obviously that's too long. We're gonna have to bend it here and then put a little fitting on there for the hose to slide on, like a little barb. But that should work. Let's install that. Alright, so here's the original line. Here's the new line. So I want to straighten this out and then bend an elbow here. We'll cut off this little thin piece and use our brake flaring tool to put a little flare on there. So let's try this. See if it's friendly. This is steel, it's not NICOP. It's a little harder to work with, but let me make that and we'll pop it on the Olds. Alright, well, it's not the prettiest, but it'll do. It's just a return line. Remember, no pressure in this line. And just want to match that contour. Now let's chop it off right here and make a little flare. Okay, final shot of the repairs. Brand new fuel pressure regulator. There's our modified line. Then fuel injection hose clamped on there, all the way to right here where it splices into the original line 2 clamps. So now we can easily pinch this off if we need to for testing. Won't hurt this line, this is brand new. Let's fire it up. I got the fuel pressure gauge connected, and I had the battery disconnected to reset all the fuel trims in the computer. So let's hook that up, hook up the Verus, and look at live data. Hopefully this thing runs like a dream today.
Come on, come on, come on.
Oh yeah. Alright, let's jump right in. Scanner. Key on. See the pressure slowly bleeding off into the tank. Not as bad as it was before. That's interesting. Maybe the fuel pump check valve freed itself up. So display codes. We shouldn't have any codes after disconnecting the battery. No codes present, great. So data display and road test display, for some reason on this PCM, the road test data is just, they're all zeros. Okay? All zeros, including, I don't even see IAC on here. So the only useful data list is data display, but that will say, you know, diagnostic mode, do not drive, but you can still drive. Okay, so integrator, block learn at 128, IAC is at 150, TPS, let me bump that down to 0.4, like spec says. It's right now 0.48, just to be 100% starting from scratch, and we'll take this thing on a test drive. Alright, so you see I brought TPS down to 0.40. Perfection. Let's look at the O2, open loop, closed loop, block learn, integrator. Fire this thing up, look at the fuel pressure. There you go, 27. If I bump the throttle, okay, so let's wait for it to get in the closed loop. Look at block learn and integrator. So our IAC is at 89, RPM is at 1000, because we're in diagnostic mode. Still an open loop. Seems to be pretty happy. Alright, so at idle we're looking great. Integrator's 140, block learn's 128. Stoichiometric oxygen sensor is oscillating like it should. There you go. IAC's at 77, coming down because we're at 1000 RPM in diagnostic mode. So, well, now we're ready to drive it. Alright, let's do a quick acceleration here. Look at the fuel pressure. Dang it. Too much torque. So 35 max, 25 min. Seems to be happy. Yep, block learn's at right at 128. Amazing. I'm gonna keep cruising. So what I'm noticing is just cruising here, looking at live data, it's running absolutely perfectly. Nice torque, awesome. But if I exit out of live data and you're going up a grade, it doesn't have that nice torque, kind of starts bucking a little bit. My suspicion is it's enabling the EGR system when you're not looking at live data, and that's causing some problems. Like, you can feel lack of power. Like, if you floor it, it'll go. So this reminds me of that 7 Toyota Celica, where the EGR was overactive and it was just messing with the drivability, and we basically disabled that and it drove perfectly fine. I think I'm going to try that. Might as well just disconnect the vacuum hose under the hood to that EGR valve and see how it drives. If it drives perfect, well, who needs that crap? We want this thing to be smooth, not jerky and buggy. Alright, so I want to verify ignition timing on this Oldsmobile, and here's how we verify that with a timing light. So connect diagnostic pins A and B at the diagnostic connector, and check engine light will come on. Set ignition timing to 15 degrees by loosening the distributor until a specification is obtained. Okay. So we actually do that in field service mode with the scanner. So let's first, in regular mode, see if we can see the timing mark. And right now, it'll probably be hard to pick up on camera. We're at, about 15 degrees on the mark there. So if we enter field service mode, you see the check engine light should come on. And our timing mark moves to 10 degrees. It should be at 15 in field service mode. So what we need to do is loosen up the distributor pinch bolt. It's real pain to get to down there. And just tweak this thing until we're at 15. Exit. Display codes. Just want to make sure we have no code set. No codes present. Okay, let me loosen that bolt up. Alright, back to field service mode. Check engine lights on. So let's see, this advances the ignition timing. Yes, that's advancing the timing a little bit more. Let's see. Now we're at 20, so a little bit back. Okay, 15, right there. Bingo. Alright, let me verify that, and when we release field mode, it should start advancing on its own. Okay, fires right up. So 5-degree retard on the ignition timing, that's a pretty substantial difference. So this thing should drive better. Alright, let's do another little acceleration here. Oh, I can already feel the torque is so much better. Wow, that was effortless. That was like a third throttle. And this thing will peg the speedometer, no problem now. I think that might have been the last piece of the puzzle right there. 5 degrees advancing. The ignition timing. Maybe the guys who put in the distributor didn't know about field service mode didn't read the OEM service instructions or something, I don't know. Let's cruise, make sure it doesn't do that little surge anymore. This thing is running butter smooth in park, no shaking at all. I'm just gonna do steady throttle here, about half throttle, make sure we don't have any flat spots. Going up the grade. No issues. Alright, I'm happy with this thing. These are the final numbers at a hot idle. 4 grams per second. 135 on the block learn. IX at 28, so below 30. If we turn off the headlights. 750 RPM idle. And look at that throttle response. It's happy. I'm ready to return this thing back to the customer. So that was, again, these old cars, you have to drop them off at least for a week because everything needs to be checked, everything needs to be adjusted, dialed in, but the result is satisfaction. 5,400 miles now. I put quite a few miles on this thing and they were all very enjoyable. So thank you to the owner, John, for letting me work on his Oldsmobile. And with that odometer reading, he has a lot of really amazing miles left in this thing. So thanks a lot for watching. Happy Memorial Day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Alright, I'm in the passenger seat of the 85 Olds, and the owner is taking it home today. So John, what does it feel like to be driving the 85 Olds?
It's amazing. I'm walking on air.
You're sitting on a pillow, right?
Yeah.
So smooth cruising, good power. Any customer complaints?
No.
No?
Just got to find another project for Ivan to work on.
Oh, you're gonna bring more. Okay, yeah, keep them coming, John. So I'm happy how this turned out. A couple of things left to perfect, like the seat back keeps reclining. It's kind of annoying. But other than that, car is basically brand new, 5,000 miles on it. So John will enjoy it for, well, however long he wants to. Maybe he'll get bored and find something else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Got to bring another project back for Ivan to work on.
Yeah, I like this style of project. Yep, definitely. So appreciate everyone watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Ivan.
There goes the Olds, gonna cruise back to New Hampshire in style. I really enjoyed that one.